TJ the Wheel Joe coming at you live for a portfolio recap. Guys, this was a good day. This was a good day because it reminded me of what the hamburger stand is and what it isn't. At the core, we sell puts, we sell calls, we collect premium, we roll when it makes dollars and cents, and we have been known to buy the timely leaps. But also in the back of my mind, I started as a buy, hold, and hope, right? Just investing in the SEP IRA, the 401k, that kind of thing, for whole life insurance. I'm accustomed to owning asset classes for long periods of time. That's who I am at the core. So when something starts seeming obvious, like, hey, this is where I could potentially go all in, I need to make sure that the portfolio really aligns for that. So when push comes to shove, guys, you need to be willing to trim the fat in your portfolio. So have you ever met those people that do CrossFit? They walk around the gym. They're like, I do CrossFit. I do CrossFit. I do CrossFit. Are you going to do the Murph? Are you going to do the Murph this year? Right? Those people. Well, I'm the guy that sells puts, sells calls, collects premium, rolls when it makes dollars and cents. I'm still in the middle of the restructure. I'll get to all this stuff, guys. I'll get to all this stuff in a second, but I'm still looking at potentially make a move. So let me finish making the move and we'll go from there. We don't waste a lot of time on portfolio recap. These aren't long lives, right? So getting absolutely obliterated for the day. A lot of the year to dates have turned negative. Just a real bad day from that aspect. But I want y'all to see the hamburger stand is really getting cleaned up, really getting cleaned up. And that is intentional. Everything that I'm doing today is with intention. So we still got the PayPal situation, right? We got the leaps, the backstop trade. I stand behind it. I think it's going to go down as one of my best trades. And then I'm selling short dated naked calls against it. So instead of the poor man cover call where you buy the leap, I'm selling the leap and then I'm selling the calls anyway. So I'm calling it the rich man cover call. BM&U still got 150,000 shares. We got the shares for sale at 7. And then we've got an agreement to buy 100,000 more shares at 8. I have considered rolling these. Just because I don't want to put them on the books yet at these levels. I've considered doing a lateral roll if I can get it filled at these levels and just bringing in a cool $87,000 just to kick the can down the road. I'm okay taking ownership at that point, but right now I want to be careful with the buying power because I'm trying to do something else. So anything that I could do to increase the buying power, I'm doing it right now. And we'll see. We'll see if it fills, right? Because it's a lot of I guess it didn't. Oh, there we go. It's working. It's doing its thing. Let it do its thing, right? We'll see. So it's an agreement to buy another 100,000 shares at $8. But the issue is I'm going to try to buy another 100,000 shares here really soon. Just trying to find the money. Got some deposits going in. Don't see the little parentheses there. It'll say 10,000. When it says 10,000, then I know that the 250 is going over there. But it hasn't happened yet. So we're still waiting on the banks to talk. So once that happens, I'm going to pull the trigger on another 100,000 shares over here. That's one. That's a big move because I just feel like I can make a crap load of money at these levels. Nobody's going to convince me otherwise. This is where you have an investment thesis. You put your money where your mouth is, and you got to be okay with the possibilities that you're going to get it wrong. I'm okay with that possibility because I don't think I'm going to be wrong. Not to be cocky or anything, but it's just when you do research, you do homework, and you are being pretty aggressive selling calls, you're like, okay, well, this is a place where I can park money. And I always look at it with the brand new set of eyes. If I was looking at this for the first time, everything that I know about BM&R and now BM&U, would I be super stoked, super excited to try to build a position on this particular asset class right now? And the answer is absolutely. The answer is absolutely. So I am super excited about that. Sorry, guys. I'm just getting a bunch of text messages from friends and clients and cousins, and nobody calls me when the market's doing well. It's always when the market's not doing well. It's very annoying. I like to be called when the market's doing well too. not just when it sucks. Okay, just keep that in mind. So that's how I'm looking to play BM and U. BM&R or SoFi, what did I do? I got rid of the 23 puts. Got rid of them. Don't need them right now. It's a headache. What did I do? I sold the 22. So it's kind of like a roll, but it was two different transactions. So I closed out the 22s, the 23s, small loss, like 11 grand. And then I sold 500 more backstop trades at 22. And then I'm running the rich man covered call. 1 second. 1 second. That that was good news. The 250 is indeed on the way. So that part is good. That part is good. Good, 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 good. Let's see if the little 10, there it is. You see a little 10 right there? Pending cash. It's because there's an additional 250 on the way, and there's another 750 immediately on the sidelines. You can only do 250 at a time unless you do a wire transfer, but that takes like 3 days. So I'm like, well, we can just do 250 at a time. And in 3 days, we have most of it there, and it's just easier. So anyway, that's good news. So that's going to help the buying power situation a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit. But we get the entire million in there. It does make a material difference. So the other thing that I did, let me just make sure I'm on the right one. Another thing that I did on strategy, I sold naked calls at 200. I'm like, okay, I kicked this can down the road. Strategy's not playing ball. It's just not playing ball. I gotta be more courageous than I was last time because I took like a $50,000-$60,000 bath on these, but it worked out because I had also sold puts. So it was kind of like a wash, but I was in the trade for like 30 or 40 days. And I was like, it sucks being in a trade 30 or 40 days and not actually making money. Right? That sucks. So anyway, I was like, okay, put your big boy pants on and go sell some naked calls. Treat it like PayPal. She's going to be a little bitch over here. You're going to go make money on the calls. And as soon as I did that, strategy started shooting up. And that's exactly what I thought would happen because that's the stock gods for you, right? And it's awesome. I'm good with it. I'm not adding to the BM&R play. I'd rather add to BM and U. There's that. In face didn't do anything because I studied the charts a little bit and I was like, now this thing will go back down, back at 40. I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing anything. I'm not going to sell it at a loss because at the end of the day, I'm okay owning these shares. I got to go find the money somewhere else. So where did I find the money? In the bank. So that's where the money was. I couldn't find it in the portfolio, found it in the bank. Right. So there's that. So we're gonna rock with this. If we can get out of these shares, and I would like to get out of these shares, I got to do it at 40, 40, 90, 4102, whatever it ends up being, because I don't want to sell those shares at a loss. It's not necessary. I don't want to do it. Riot, I left it on. I left it on because it's not requiring a lot of capital. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And it's put me at 10 positions. So I left Riot on. I picked Riot over Marathon. Shocker, I know. Palantir. I was like, I feel like Palantir Army is going to prop this thing up. I'm not going to do anything crazy. I'm not going to roll this thing down the road right now unless the 140 gets breached. Then at that point, I'll accept defeat for the time being. I'll kick the can down the road because that's going to be the responsible thing to do. And I'll turn it into a rich man's covered call, essentially. But what I did is I was like, okay, what is your highest conviction player? That was the self-talk. What's your highest conviction play? And the answer was Amazon. Okay, why doesn't it look like it then? So what I did is I added more puts over here. And if I can get my shit together and stop talking, I wanted to add more. I wanted to do this one here. And I wanted to do it at 160 so that I can run a ladder on it. I just don't know if I'm gonna be able to get it filled. I don't give a shit. Just give me what I can take. There we go. We got it. I'm not going to fight over a couple $1,000s because I need to get the trade on because I want to add more to it. Oh, just got it in time. Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. Bravo. Bravo. No, seriously. I was supposed to stop talking and get that trade done because I missed some trades because I get to freaking talking on my soliloquies and I forget the fact that we got to get these trades in. So I was like, shit, can't forget to get that trade in. Got it in by the skin of my chinny chin chin, right? Or hair on your chinny chin chin, whatever those stupid sayings are. And this is where we're going to stay. We're not doing anything on ASST because it's a moonshot play. It's a moonshot play. It's going to go to 0 or hero. Nothing in between. Nothing in between. 0 to hero. I don't want to hear it. Shit's either going to work or it's not going to work. That's where we're at. That's where we're at. And I got the buying power under 70% on a couple of these. So I'm not going to go over the rest of the portfolios today, but this is what I got going on here. So we got the PayPal. We got BMU. We got SoFi. Y'all are looking at it, right? Strategy. Do I need to talk y'all through it? By now, I feel like you guys should know how to read the tape, right? We got PayPal, an agreement to sell 250,000 shares at 65 while having an agreement to buy 250,000 shares at 50 down the road. You can see the different expiration dates. BMU, 150 shares owned, 150,000 shares owned, and they're for sale at $7. That's what's going on there. We have an agreement to buy an additional 100,000 shares, but at $8. SoFi, we got an agreement to sell 150,000 shares at 36 in 22 days. And we also have an agreement to buy 300,000 shares down the road. So these are really, really monster positions, guys. This is basically saying, hey, in just about every one of these positions, if push came to shove, would you be willing to go all in? If the answer is yes, that's a menu item that can be in your hamburger stand. If the answer is no, that's a menu item that can't be in your hamburger stand. That's just, I kind of did a litmus test on the hamburger stand today. That's how we ended up here. And I'm going to talk about Apple and I'm going to talk about Google and Nvidia because they're no longer in the portfolio right now. Why? Because the highest conviction play of those is Amazon. Strategy. We already talked about strategy. Put my big point pants down and reads down. Remember that I have a pair. And I was like, why don't you do that? Why don't you dare strategy to make a recovery to 200? Because then that means that this guy's finally printing for you and you can manufacture the win. Let's do this thing. It's just math. Get out of your emotion. There's no money over there. BM&R, I'm just holding tight on the 100,000 shares. And I've got the shares for sale at 40. Why am I not adding to those shares? Is because I'm adding over here at BM&U. I feel like BM&U can go from 414 to 561 a lot faster than I can manufacture the win mathematically, adding another 100,000 shares over here. So that's why I'm playing that game. In phase, we already saw it. I'm going to try to hold off and sell these shares at a break even so I could raise a little bit of cash and then just play the naked strangle on in phase. If it pushes up a little bit more, I will look to sell another 1,000 puts at $30 and just play the strangle that way. Instead of covering the shares, I'll just add more puts. So just again, when you take a step back, you look at things with the different lens, with the bird's eye view, with the eagle view, if you will, you start seeing things a little bit different. It's like, imagine swimming in the water and then there's people in the submarine. They're looking at everything in the distance, or the person in the chariot horse on the white horse on the chariot. They're looking at everybody fight and they're up there on the hilltop, far away, hidden. You know, they've got cover. They don't worry about the arrows flinging at them or anything of the sort, but they can see the way the battle's playing out right in front of them, but they're kind of out of harm's way. That's kind of the way that I like to look. I try to look at these portfolios to put that type of lens on, if you will, because it helps give me clarity. Riot. This position is the smallest position on here, and I have to be willing to size it up or it can't be in the portfolio. I have to be willing to size it up or it's not going to make the cut. So we have 10 positions, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So Riot is either going to get sized up or I'm going to have to 86 it from the portfolio for now. very, very painful to do because I have an allegiance to this company, right? I like the company. I like the team. I like management. I like it. I like what they stand for. I like what they're trying to do. But at the end of the day, my biggest allegiance is always going to be to the family and the portfolio. That's just the way that it is. Palantir. I feel good about the way that I'm playing Palantir right here. I'm staying strong. I'm not going to do anything. We are collecting about $17,000, $18,000 in theta per day. This thing can turn around. This thing can turn around. So I don't want to overcorrect, overreact, because then I might be forced to overmanage it because I created a whipsaw effect. Hey, it says T. I'm not even selling cover calls on this thing. There's no juice in the lemon. This is just a buy, hold, and hope. This is the epitome of a buy, hold, and hope. And I can't even find the money or the conviction to add more shares here. I'm like, I thought I had a pretty good entry point at $1.37. Turns out that I was wrong. Mr. Market's like, you could have gotten 43% less, right? Because you're down 43%. So you could have gotten all of these shares for $195,000 instead of, like $350,000. I was like, okay, well, that sucks. So we're just going to wait it out. So now let's talk about the highest conviction play. Out of everything on here, the highest conviction play is Amazon. So what did we have with Amazon? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to type in Amazon, and it's going to tell me everything that we did today. I sold 200 puts at 220, expiring on September the 18th. And then I sold 200 puts at 160, expiring on January the 15th. So this is where I want to stay. This is where I want to stay because this vision has been like manifesting. I've been conceptualizing it to the point now to where I feel confident contextualizing it to you guys. So I was like, I want to run a little bit of a leap pull and eventually a rich man's call, but I want to do a ladder. I want to do a ladder and I want to have 6 positions. So we're still not done yet. So I'm like, okay, I want to start probably going to be like maybe June, July, something like that. And then another one in August. We can just look at the chain here. We can look at the chain here. So I may do these 2 right here. I may do these. And I may do them probably in the 220 range. Same as the ones I just did. So I may do something like that. Another 200 over here and just, get whatever I can get. So that's going to require, well, it's not even telling me the buying power effect right now, but there's going to be a buying power effect. So I'm going to look to do that. And then I'm going to look to do another one, maybe like July, August, June, August. I'm going to do 2 more. I'm going to try to do 2 more, either one before September or 2 before September or 1 before September and 1 after January. Because I'll look at the options chain and see if they have anything past January. So January the 15th is the latest that they have. And then you have to go a whole other, 6 months. So I don't know that I'll do that. So I think I might have to stay shorter term. So what am I trying to do? I'm trying to do a ladder and I'm trying to stagger the strike prices. And I want to kind of run like a little cascade, if you will. So maybe I'm not using the right terminology, but I'm going to try to explain it to you guys as best I can. So what I'm trying to do is I'm going to be in this trade, right? I got 232 days out. I got 295 days out. I got 323 days out, and I got 351 days out. So let's just say I didn't add any more to it. I'm going to, but let's just say that I didn't. What I want to do is I want to wait until I get to 60 days to expiration or so, between 21 and 60, maybe even 90. So we'll have a nice little window there Just depends on how it feels, what the buying power is, how the portfolio is shaken out in a nutshell, right? So what I want to do at this point, I'm hoping that there's going to be eventually like 6 months between the first put and the last put. I'm hoping there's 6 months right there. That's not 6 months, right? We have 232 days, 332 days, once 140 days. So that's like more like 5 months, right? So I got to add another one here around like July or something like that. So then I sold the one in July. I sold the one in July, and then May rolls around. Then I'm going to look to roll these out to the next expiration date over here, which will be February, March, because by that time they'll probably add more to the options chain. So I'll kick this one down the road, and either depending on what Amazon is doing, I'll keep it at 220. I'll roll it to 230, 240. I'll roll it to 210 to 200. It just depends on what the price action is. And I just want to keep this trade on over and over and over again and continue to build the extrinsic value, because I don't have to worry that much about the share price. I just have to keep track of the notional, because Amazon is the stock above everything else. I know I went on a huge soliloquy on strategy. I've done it on all of these. But if I had to go all in on one of these stocks at these levels where these strike prices are, because if I got 40,000 shares, at 220, 200, 180, 160, if you just do the math, that's gonna bring the 180s and 160s to 170, the 200, 210s to 210. So it's going to put me at 190 strike price. So if everything went in the money and we got assigned all of these shares on Amazon at 190 strike price, 190 average cost, I don't see a world where I can't manufacture a win there. And that is what I want to do. Is I want to keep, so we get to, let's just say 60 days out. I'm going to kick this can down the road and put it under the other one. And then we stay in the trade some more. September rolls around. Then I'm going to manage this particular trade and move it to the end of the line. And then we stay in the trade longer. And then I'm going to manage this trade and move it to the end of the line. And I just want to keep doing it over and over and over again on Amazon. And then when we have a meaningful run up, I'll introduce the naked calls to this particular position as well, especially if there's a meaningful gap up. So instead of just like prematurely increasing the strike prices, I want to just start looking at selling naked calls. But because I do feel like the risk is to the upside on Amazon, not to the downside, I have to be mindful of that. That's the investment thesis. There's always a thesis whenever you're selling a put or a call. Like you're selling it based on whatever your thesis is for the price movement for that stock. There's a lot of variables, right? It's a lot of variables. But for me, I feel like Amazon within the next 12 months is going to have a 3 in front of it. I do. I just fully believe that. So I'm like, okay, what would it look like if I started selling some monthly calls against Amazon? So let's just take this 29-day cycle. And I just started sprinkling in some money, maybe like at 280. So it's better than it's not even that. That means one standard deviation is like 272. So I couldn't do 280. I'd have to be closer to that 290. So I'd be at like 1.5 standard deviations at a 7 delta. And I'm like, okay, well, I got 800 puts. How about 400 calls? And see what that would bring in. Another 32,000. It's nothing great, but it's something. And what it's also showing me is if I want to sell conservative covered calls, like if I were to take ownership of these shares down the road, there's not going to be a lot of juice in the lemon unless I'm willing to basically sell pretty close to at the money. So whenever the premiums aren't that great, that's kind of telling you that the volatilities typically not that great. But right now, also the reason that this appealed to me was because the Ivy rank has climbed to 43.7. So I can also play for a volatility contraction on $748,000 of extrinsic value. So I was like, this one just seems a lot more cut and dry than chasing that $2 million on Apple and Google and trying to convince myself that I can make money with NVIDIA, even though I've been fortunate to make some money with NVIDIA. It's just not in my wheelhouse. It just isn't. Like the whole chips thing really isn't in my wheelhouse. I'm just not nerdy enough for it. So it's not in my sphere of competence, which doesn't give me any confidence. And on top of that, there's not a whole lot of interest there. Whereas with Amazon, a lot of interest. I'm just interested in the company. Just wasn't like a huge fan of Bezos. Never really have been. But Amazon's very, very intriguing. Palantir is one of my favorite companies to read up on. I'm fascinated. I'm absolutely fascinated by the company. I'm fascinated by Riot. Phase is very interesting. I just feel like I can manufacture the win here. BM&R, I'm fascinated by the whole Ethereum story. Bitcoin, it's the ticker that I look at the most. SoFi is the easiest company for me to make money on. It just, the premiums aren't as juicy anymore. So it's hard for me to just like, oh yeah, I'm just going to go all in on SoFi because I feel like I could make more money elsewhere. Like at these levels, even give me MSTR versus SoFi because I know the premiums will be a lot better. And I feel like strategy going to go to what, maybe 130, 120, maybe. If shit really gets bad, SoFi could go to 15. Like SoFi could legitimately go to 15. We can't have like the stock isn't expensive over here. Like it's not priced to perfection, but it's priced to really, really, really good. BMU, we already know what that is. And then PayPal is still just the trade that doesn't stress me out. I feel like I'm going to be able to manufacture the win with naked calls all the way around. So now I just feel like my hamburger stand's not convoluted. That's the portfolio recap. It's not convoluted. I don't have a lot of shit on here that I don't need to deal with right now. There's a time and a place for everything, right? In the book of Ecclesiastes, there's a time and a place for everything. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to mourn, a time to dance, laughter, all that stuff. A time to love, all that stuff, right? Well, this isn't the time to be dealing with as great companies as they are, Google, Nvidia, Apple, absolutely amazing companies. United H, amazing companies. Marathon, I think that it is a good deal at these levels right now because I feel again I'm playing. This is a crescendo. I'm playing towards an investment thesis. What is my investment thesis overall with the market? I feel like we are just absolutely due for a 10, 15, 20% correction. So if I'm going to endure that, I want to do it with horses that I feel like I could legitimately ride back up. I know enough about them. I'm confident that we can find the bottom. I'm very confident that we can find the bottom on PayPal. I'm really, really confident that at 18 bucks or 15 bucks, I'll find the money to double down on BM&R and the premiums are still good there that we're going to be able to manufacture the win. I feel like if I just keep kicking this can down the road on MSTR, at some point it's going to go in my favor and I can manufacture the win. I don't need things that I'm like unsure of, if you will. On all of these, I'm sure, aside from ASST, that's the flyer. That's the flyer. We'll see. The management team seems very, very robust. Time will tell. It always does. That's the portfolio in a nutshell. So what I need to do now is I'm going to do the screenshots here for you guys so that I can post them so y'all can see why I don't like doing this. It's a little bit of a pain in the ass. But I'm trying to give you guys the info. Why does my opacity seem kind of low? That's better, isn't it? Okay. So am I on the right one? Yeah. Okay. It's just showing everything right now because I did all the moves. So I need to wait until it resets. I think it'll reset around midnight, 2, 3 in the morning, and I'll post the latest screenshots for you guys because some of these trades aren't on there anymore, but they're still going to be on here, right? Like United Health, like, well, I guess I could just do this. Yeah, I could do that because these are all, well, no, ASST is over here hanging out by itself, though. I don't know how to, no, yeah, it won't do it. Yeah, dang it. I need to wait for it to reset. Once it resets and it kicks all the stuff that's no longer in the portfolio, you can see it right here. Apple, United Health, Marathon, Nvidia, Google. You can see real small wins here. So I didn't really take a bath, lost money on Apple. Shocker, right? Lost money on Apple again. I didn't care because I used that money. That collateral is what I used to sell the 400 naked puts on Amazon. And all things being equal, I feel like Amazon's growing. Apple isn't. If I had to go all in on one of those companies, I'd rather it be Amazon all day long over Apple, especially at these levels. So there's that. So now the last thing that I need to do is I need to add to the spreadsheet. So I've cleaned up the spreadsheet too. I had the yellow going all the way across. I've only got the backstop trades in yellow now, just on the left side. So just to make it not so busy. It's still busy. I could probably use better colors, but I just, I don't know that yellow is like the right color for the backstop trades. It's not real easy on the eyes, but it really stands out for me. So that's why I have it on there. So I just need to add Amazon. I need to add Amazon. And I just got to remember, what was the date. So it was 220 for September. Or did I do the one? I don't remember which one I did. Jesus. Okay, so I got September, November, December, January. September, November, December, January. September, November, December, January. September, November, December, January. So it's going to be down here. So insert rows above. So if you guys have this spreadsheet, you just go copy, you copy that formula, you put it over here. And that's Amazon, so it's easy. And then now you just change the strike price, which is 160. And then I got to change the expiration date. So I got to also, this is not right. So I got to do this. And then now I got to put this in bold. There we go. I'm telling you, man, my OCD is out of control. So this one's going to be January, I believe. All right. January the 15th. That's the one I did right before the bell. So we go 1/15/26. There we go. So I feel better about this portfolio all the way around already. So let me see if there's a better color. How about this? Does that look better? I feel like it's not so abrasive. It's a little bit of a money green, if you will. These are all the backstop trades that ultimately I want to turn into rich man covered calls. I like it's subtle. It's subtle, but it lets me know that hey, this is there's a lot of money tied up to this. So now I look at Amazon and I'm like, okay, 4.44332. So I'll go over here and I'll do my formula. I know you don't have to do it all exactly like this, but this is the way I do it. So we're tapped out. because that's 15.2 million notional, right? On Amazon. So I can't sell anymore. This is as big as I can go. Why? Because it's an expensive stock, dollar wise, right? It's an expensive stock. Let me make sure all of these are in bold. And then this one too. I'm just trying to clean up the spreadsheet a little bit. I feel like this needs to be in this color too. I just feel like it's off. I don't like it like that. There we go. Something like that. Awesome. So then now I got to go fix this over here. I got to go fix this over here because this shit ain't right. This shit ain't right. Oh, okay. I see what's going on here. Holy moly. Okay, so this is not accurate anymore. I got to fix all this. Okay, I'll have to work on this. I'll work on this offline because if not, it'll drive me crazy right now. This is where I'm keeping track of all the shares we own. So I'll have to do that. I'll have to do that later because it's going to drag out. It's going to drag out for us. Anyway, let me see if you guys have any questions. I appreciate the 23 tuning in, 573 on X. How are you handling MSTR and BMR? I feel like I did cover that one. Do you have a long-term? Yes. I'm trying to figure out how to balance my SPY buys and my options account. Well, I would say two totally separate portfolios. I try to have everything come. It just doesn't work for me, for us. I think you just need to have a totally separate account. Your buy, hold, and hope. You don't even look at it. Kind of like your 401k. Afternoon, everything tough day. We back, blessed today. AMZU, I have BM&R campaign right now. Afterwards, I saw out the money puts on AMZU monthly. The premiums are more than enough. Right on. There we go with this one again. UUU is safe since shares keep climbing back over 5. We'll get to right on. What we wheeling, UU is no debt. I don't even know what UUU is in SPRI. Let me go look at this. Why we are back to spreadsheets when the broker has your info? Because of the notional value. Good question. Good question. This is what Tasty Trade does not offer. Tasty Trade doesn't offer me this number right here. That number right there. Should I put it in a different color? Purple. Purple's my favorite color. Kind of a purple. It doesn't offer that number right there. Total collateral. It doesn't offer that number right there. So I need to know what that number is because I don't like to play over 4 times the net liquidation value. And I'm like teetering right there. I'm teetering. So that's why this spreadsheet's important to me. And then it's just a visual. Like I could see it, I could see it, and I'm like, okay, that's 12 million. I look at BM&U. I don't know. It just works for me. But we all have to do what works for us. If you don't need any spreadsheets, then split view. Remind me later. I don't need that right now. So that's the thing. And this isn't, it's just the way that I run my hamburger stand. I'm old school. I still journal. Like, I mean, a lot of technology here, but there's just some things that worked for me from day one, and I just keep doing them. I keep doing them. You guys have any other questions? If not, we're gonna be good. We're gonna be good. Did you guys have anything that you had to navigate today that was tough? I mean, I show you on my journey, but I feel like y'all don't really contribute that much on your end, like on your journey. So it's like, it's like the whole man in the arena, but you're the man in the arena for you. I highly doubt that y'all are just watching me for the sheer entertainment value. I feel like most of you guys are selling puts and calls. If not, why would you be on this channel? So I'm just curious, like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What have you had to manage that's been real tough? And then I haven't done this a lot while I'm on, but since I'm on, what I normally do during this time, is I go check on our boy Mitt.
We're green 1.94, 2.3.
Because I'm kind of
Can we
curious
hold
to
it?
what he has to say about penalties.
2.27. Now it's going back down a little bit, trying to hold 2.3, 2.4, 2.789, 2.64. Apple, let's see a double beat. Let's see a double beat, Apple. It's holding 2%.
So we can count on our boy, man. He gives you all the price action. It's
3% up or down.
like a running scoreboard.
So then it can easily switch. Trying to get the results.
It's like
Apple.
It's like a running scoreboard, man.
Beat and a beat. Wow. This is a big beat. Whoa. 284 EPS versus 268. First quarter revenue, Street wanted 138 billion. They came in 144 billion. It's a $6 billion beat on revenue. When's the last time Apple did that? My goodness. EPS almost 20-cent beat.
I mean, the energy of
here's the big one. Street wanted 21 billion in China. Apple gave you 25.3 billion.
Look at it.
That's what I'm talking about, baby. This market needed that.
He didn't even have a share of Apple.
EPS 18% growth, revenue 15%. Street thought they would come in at 12%.
He's got that boyhood, like that boy
on
enthusiasm.
Apple. We have not seen 15% growth on Apple, I think, in almost 3 years. It's been a while, and it looks like we got that just now.
And
we got that just now. Let's get some coverage on this. My goodness.
He has 100,000 followers because he is entertaining. He gives you all the information. He consumes so much financial data. It's hard. It's hard doing what Amit does. I mean, you got to have the right personality, the right brain, all that stuff, the love for the game. I feel like what I do is easier in a way because I don't have to worry about content. I'm just going to, trade the portfolio. But to imagine to keep up with all that freaking news and stream all of these, earnings and oh man, it's just too much. It's just too much. Markets could get ugly next week if this Iran thing happens. I don't know about it, to be honest with you. Close some puts that I didn't want to just raise buying power so I could justify buying the dip. Right on. How do you feel about the government shutdown? I think it's a bit of a nothing burger. I mean, they always figure it out. I mean, what are they going to really do? What are they really going to do? The country's done? Just 3 months, 4, 5, 6 months short of the 250-year anniversary, right? The bicentennial and a half. Right, 200 year, and then another 50. And what? They're just done. They're just done. Is that what's going to happen? Is that really what's going to happen? No, they're going to figure it out. They're going to figure it out. They argue over how to spend taxpayer money and how to spend money that's printed almost out of thin air, right? With paper. The trees are sacrificed. So what are they really fighting about? Is anybody going to pay back the $38 or $39 trillion debt? Is that really going to happen? No. They're not going to pay it. I mean, just do the math. Somebody help me out. We got 400 million Americans. How much do we all got to pay? What is that? Like 100 grand, something like that? What is the number? Is it a million? What's the number? I don't know what the number is. It's a bunch of zeros above my pay grade. My calculator doesn't even go that far. So what is it? How much do we have to pay? Let's ask Grok. Let's ask Grok here. It could be a good little exercise for us. Let's ask Grok. Hey, Grok, how many taxpayers are there in the United States? And if we took the national deficit and divided it by the amount of taxpayers, how much would we all have to pay if we wanted to zero out the debt?
Looking up latest taxpayer numbers and debt. Right now, there are roughly 165 million individual income taxpayers in the US, based on the latest IRS data for recent filing seasons, where they process around 164 to 165 million individual returns each year. The national debt is sitting at about $38.5 to $38.7 trillion as of late January 2026. Treasury's official debt to the penny shows $38 trillion, $542 billion as of January 28th. If we divided that debt evenly among those 165 million taxpayers to zero it out, it'd come out to roughly $233,000 to $235,000 per taxpayer. Wild number, huh? That's why they say it's not going to get paid off that way anytime soon.
You see, I like talking about problems that will like legitimately be solved. How are they going to solve that one? How are they going to solve that problem? Are they going to figure out, well, how many millionaires could afford to pay $1 million one time or $5 million one time, and then we don't tax them for a while? Like, could they do something like that and raise a few $1 trillion? Maybe. I mean, we already know there's $6, $7, $8 trillion sitting in money market accounts. So the government knows how much money's out there. So I don't know. So what do they fight about? What do they fight about? Oh, we need money for this. We need money for that. We need money for our agenda. We need money for that agenda. That's why I just can't take politics very seriously. Because I think that the illusion of a politician, like their magic trick, is they convince you that they care. And I don't think they do. I was talking to my wife about it yesterday. We were talking about the shit show in Minneapolis. And I was like, Barack Obama believed in immigration laws. He was like, hey, we need to get people out of here if they don't belong here, because if not, people are going to think that you could just show up and there's no repercussions. So I just don't understand how we still have a lot of living ex-presidents, former presidents. And why can't they all get together and put egos aside and be like, okay, Donald Trump's at the helm right now. Before that, it was Joe Biden. Granted, Joe Biden's probably not in the mental capacity to really help anymore. Before that, it was, shit, help me out. Barack Obama? Was that, am I missing one? Was it Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, Clinton? I'm getting some orders mixed up. And then the other Bush, when I was in college, the George H.W. or whatever, I don't know, whatever. I'm like, why can't they all get together and be like, hey, this is what I learned during my term. This is what worked. This is what didn't work. And why can't they all help each other out and make America a better place? But instead, what they do is they utilize a shit show to just push their narrative so that their party is in a position of leadership. And I'm like, forget about all that right now. Let's just do what's best for the American people, regardless of who happens to be the standing president or the sitting president. But they won't do that. And why won't they do that? Because they don't give a shit. They just care about their agenda. They don't care about you and me. They care about their agenda. Whatever that agenda is, that's what they sell. They control the media. So they're going to keep pushing a narrative down our throats. And I'm like, that's why I'm trimming the portfolio. I feel like at some point everything's going to come to a head. We're going to get kind of like our little Palantir moment right now where there's like a fall from grace, right? And I think that there's going to be a 10, 15, 20% correction very, very quickly. And I feel like the Democrats want that to happen. Why? Because that really increases their chances to dominate in the midterms. Because mostly people vote with their wallets. That's just the reality of it. what's the Republicans' best chance to maintain all the power in the House and Senate? Because obviously they already have the presidency. Is for the stock market to be at all-time highs, maybe not acting like fools, right? With like ICE and other things, and maybe like starting wars and not escalating things. I don't know. Like I think that would help the Republican cause. But it's like right now, the only thing that is thriving is like chaos, right? Like if it bleeds, it leads. And I don't know, man. It's tough. It's tough. So yeah, I think the government shutdown, how does it affect our lives? Yeah, I guess if you're in the military, if you rely on that government check or whatever, like there's a lot of people that could be impacted. But like, how long are they going to let it go on? Like they're over here having a little tussle, and they're just going to affect the common man. But they always seem to get paid, right? Congress gets paid their $180,000 a year or whatever it is. And I'm like, you ain't even getting the job done. Why do you deserve to get paid? So I don't know, man. It's interesting. The difference between TJ and YouTube finance gurus is he is right here with us during the shitty market, still being transparent. I mean, it's what I do. It's what I do. I sell puts, I sell calls, I collect premium, I roll and makes dollars and cents. Usually I make a lot of money. Sometimes I lose money. That's what the market is. I mean, I'm just honest about it. I'm not shoving a buy my course, buy my X, Y, and Z. I know I had the book coming out, but I ain't going to shove it down your throat. You want the fucking book, buy the book. You don't want to buy the book, it's okay. My life doesn't really change materially. There's a lot of good stuff in the book. It might help you. I don't know. That's why I wrote it, because I wanted to like try to put all this in book format for my son mostly, but you guys could be beneficiaries of that. I just don't. I don't mind being exposed. I don't mind being judged. Everybody thinks that they're better at this game than me. And maybe you are. But if your results don't match what you think your knowledge is, then maybe you're not. Because at the end of the day, we get graded on our results. We get graded on our results. That's just the nature of the game. It's a numbers game, right? So the scoreboard is, where's your portfolio at? That's your scoreboard in life. In your financial life, that's your scoreboard. So I'm like, I'm trying to get this scoreboard up really, really, really high. And it's really, really, really difficult. But I also understand that it's only going to take a couple of 2 or 3 or 4 stocks to get me there. But I'm going to be in 10 or 15 at a time until the right opportunity presents itself, and I'm going to pounce. That's the way I'm running my hamburger stand. I got these menu items, different types of burgers, but the minute that the public has spoken, this is the one, the line's all the way around the corner, then I'm turning the other assembly lines into that one. You know, like, why are you going to keep shoving double meat, double cheese if everybody wants lettuce wraps? You know, like, well, why are you going to do that? So I'm in these trades right now, guys. I'm in these trades, and make no mistake about it, I'm always looking for where's my all-in opportunity. And maybe it doesn't happen just on one stock. Maybe it's 4 or 5. Maybe I'm back to the 4 horsemen. It could happen. What would the 4 horsemen look like right now? PayPal, Strategy, BM&R, and Amazon. I could learn how to golf if that's all I was babysitting. Probably don't need a freaking leverage play in there, because that's going to make me look too much. The SoFi trade is very manageable. End phase, it's easy money. It's pretty easy money right here. But am I as confident in it as Amazon, as PayPal, as Strategy and BM&R? No, I'm not. AST, come on, it's a moonshot. Palantir, maybe if these didn't exist and I turned them into this, that's a possibility. Like if I did this right here, if I sold another, I did a rich man's covered call on Palantir, I could rock with Palantir. I did this right here, and I just starting now, just real quick, boom, 700 more, right? Just doing that. Just doing that. Then Palantir could legitimately be a horseman. Because that is no-brainer stuff right there. I'm like, okay, cool. Not going to make as much money. But the play is going to be in the rich man covered call on the running the naked calls. I'm like, okay, well, I could do that. That's interesting. That's interesting. So Palantir, I could make it work if I loaded up on these 50s over here, because these 50s on Palantir, that feels like the 50s on PayPal. And the valuation at 50 on Palantir is reasonable. I can't even honestly tell you that it's like cheap at 50, but it's reasonable. Like there's not a lot of hate that you're going to be able to give the company if the stock is trading at $50 a share, especially with the CAGR and stuff that they got going on. So yes, I could see it'd be real hard to narrow it down to 4, but I could narrow it down to 7. I could narrow it down to 7. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So what would be out? ASST would be out. Beloved Right would be out, and BMNU would be out. If I wanted to run with 8, because that was, the infinite number, this is an infinite game, then I would probably keep BMNU on so that I could use this as my swing trade to help me with the BMNR trade. So it'd still be very crypto centered, right? Very crypto centered. So that's why I'm trying to go heavier on Amazon. I'm really, really, really considering this Palantir continuing to add to this one, because that, again, nothing to do with crypto. And that's why I do like the end phase play. Again, nothing to do with crypto. Nothing to do with crypto. That's why I have these plays on. That's why I wanted the Google, the Apple, and all that stuff. But right now, I don't have time for all that. I just don't have time for all that. So we'll see. Tune in tomorrow. We'll see what happens. If there's another spike in IB, if there's another leg down, I might have to trim, because I think I'm out of options at that point. On the big portfolio, I think we'll be okay, because there's 250 going in. So that's going to help buying power substantially. And then there could easily be another 250 going in after that, and after that, and after that. So on the big account, no big deal. And that's why, like, if all of this was just one account, I'd be able to make a lot more money, because there's just something with the leverage. But I'm not able to do that. So it is what it is. Anyway, guys, I hope y'all got value, man. I feel like I gave y'all a lot of stuff today. Any other questions? Difference between what's up, baby? Yeah. What's going on? Oh. Anyway, so that's it in a nutshell, man. I hope you guys navigated well. I hope y'all didn't do anything crazy that you might regret later. Don't overcorrect, don't overreact. Trade what's in front of you, and try to stay in the math. Just try to stay in the math. Try to stay in the math. I got to run. TJ the Will Deal signing off. Sorry, Smart Guys. Stay Blue Stock Stream. Peace out. God bless you guys.